Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2, Chapter 9, Answers by citing the Lord's version. And text number
17.
Text number 17, is it? Or maybe it's 18?
17.
17,
Yeah.
okay. Now we'll read back a little bit and the Srimad Bhagavatam to get some refreshing connections. Text number 14, the goddess of fortune in her transcendental form is engaged in the loving service of the Lord's lotus feet, and being moved by the black bees, followers of spring, she is not only engaged in variegated pleasure, service to the Lord, along with her constant companions, but also she is engaged in singing the glories of the Lord's activities. You have to understand this on a very, very extraordinary transcendental platform. All the personalities there, they're so intoxicated by just seeing God face to face, touching Him, serving Him, and doing so many. I don't know exactly what goes on there in terms of the Vaikuntha planets, the types of service and what people, the inhabitants do every day. But because in the material world, everything is about problem solving. Okay, every day, every moment is like the next problem. You gotta get the lug nuts on the tire. So many, one after another. That's what life is in the material world. It's problem solving every minute. As soon as you solve one, another one pops up. But in the Vaikuntha planets, there's no problems like that. So what do people do all day? They serve and they love and they sing, and they have beautiful, beautiful gestures of beautiful bodies that are extraordinary. And they glorifying Krishna's activities, God's activities. But you have to understand that having a body which is Satchidananda, which is no miseries whatsoever, and not living in any kind of miserable environment whatsoever, everything is just intoxicating. And so when there's the goddess of fortune is seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead and she's massaging his feet, she just begins singing about him because there's nothing else to do that. Nothing else enters the mind. There's no problem solving. There's just glorification and the feelings of loving exchange which comes out in the form of singing. Isn't that nice? But here, as soon as we finish the Bhagavatam, problem solving. All kinds of problems. That's the material world, and we'll figure out the problems, but they never end. It's not like you can just, okay, we got that one solved, and there's no more problems. Hey, what's going on? There's no more problems. No, there'll be another one come up from some place else. It's just mental problems, physical problems, environmental problems, cow problems, vehicle problems. There'll be something coming up. Relationship problems. Anthony problems. Oh. So this is the way the material world is made. It's just you're completely distracted into a world of problems. And you can't solve them all because there's always new ones. So it's like weeds, if you try to pull the weeds in the garden, and you figure, wow, I got that all cleared out, 3 or 4 or 5 days, 6 days, a week later, there they are again. Yeah? Another problem. Got to pull the weeds. They don't go away. They just reorganize underneath the ground and pop up different places. So that's everything here is a problem, and whereas there is no type of problems like that in the spiritual environment, and yet there are plants and there are things, beautiful things growing I venture to say there's probably a minimum amount of weeds that have to be taken care of in the spiritual realm. Well, it's hopefully maybe no weeds. You only desire to plant things that are beautiful, flowers and fruits and so forth, because your desires are fulfilled completely. So if you have a desire for no weeds, then there won't be any weeds. Problem solved. That's how you solve the real problem, is get out of this place, because that's the real problem. The real problem is being here. Okay, onward. Text number 15. Lord Brahma saw in the Vaikuntha planet the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the entire devotee community, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of the universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabhala, and Arhana, his immediate associates. Text number 16. The personality of Godhead is seen leaning favorably towards his loving servitors. His very sight is intoxicating and attractive. He appeared to be very much satisfied. He had a smiling face decorated with an enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earrings and a helmet on his head. He had 4 hands, and his chest was marked with the lines of the goddess of fortune. What are the lines of the goddess of fortune? Is that her fingernails? Lines, is that? Or she maybe some markings that she, I don't know.
It's the Shrivats.
Shrivats. Text number 17, which is today's verse. Aryahan ni yashanam ashtitam param vritam chattu sadata pancha shaktibi yuktam bogai shwer itaratra chaju vai saeva dhamam ramanamam ishwaram ramananam ishwaram. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies, like the 4, the 16, the 5, and the 6 natural opulences, along with other insignificant energies of temporary character. But he was factually the Supreme Lord, enjoying his own abode. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. The Lord is naturally endowed with 6 opulences, namely, he is the richest in wealth, he is the most powerful, he is the most famous, and he is the most beautiful. He is the greatest in knowledge, and he is the greatest renouncer as well. And for his material creative energies, he is served by 4, namely the principles of Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego. Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and ego. He is also served by these 16, namely the 5 elements, earth, water, air, fire, and sky, and 5 perceptive sense organs, namely the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin, and the 5 working sense organs, namely the hand, the leg, the stomach, the evacuation outlet, and the genitals. Together with the mind, there are 16 in all, and the 5 includes the sense objects, namely form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. All these 25 items serve the Lord in the material creation, and all of them are personally present to serve the Lord. The insignificant opulences numbering 8, the Ashtasiddhis, attained by yogis for temporary overlordship, are also under his control, and he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord. Okay, no comment on that. The living being, by severe penance and performance of bodily exercises, can temporarily attain some wonderful power, but that does not make him the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, by his own potency, is unlimitedly more powerful than any yogi. He is unlimitedly more learned than any Gadi, and he is unlimitedly richer than any wealthy person. He is unlimitedly more beautiful than any beautiful living being, and he is unlimitedly more charitable than any philanthropist. He is above all, and no one is equal or greater to him. Nor can anyone reach his level of perfection in all the above powers by any amount of performance, of penance, or yogic demonstration. The yogis are dependent on his mercy. Out of his immensely charitable disposition, he can award some temporary powers to the yogis because of the yogis' hankering after them. But to his unalloyed devotees, who do not want anything from him save and except his transcendental service, the Lord is so pleased that he gives himself in exchange for such unalloyed service. That's the difference. The devotees don't want anything, so Krishna doesn't have any way of giving them anything because they don't want anything. They only want a transcendental loving service to continue indefinitely, perpetually, forever. And so the only option that the Lord has at that time is to give himself in various capacities, in various ways, to that devotee who is desiring to serve him in any particular way. And that is the way, so when someone has no material desire, no desire for acquiring great knowledge, no desire for acquiring mystic powers, no desire for acquiring great wealth, no desires for attaining great beauty, and no desires for becoming the most renounced, then Krishna only has one option, and that's to give himself to his unalloyed devotee, because that's all they want. They don't want anything else. They just want him. And so he gives himself in a loving exchange, makes the devotee extraordinarily happy, and makes Krishna extraordinarily happy to give himself also. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.